So our podcast is all about uncovering the wellness practices,
Yep.
tips and tricks, rituals of people who are at the top of their industries, at the top of their game, the high performers of the world. So as a very broad intro question,
Yeah.
as the successful actor you are,
Yeah.
what are some of the daily wellness practices that keep you performing to the level that you do?
They probably change a lot, to be
Okay.
honest with you, Hannah. Like you go through different phases in your life, don't you, where you're sort of treating yourself better,
Yeah.
maybe, or not. And I'm probably much more conscious, like we all are these days, about, well-being and our own sort of personal health. I also have three kids under the age of 10 or under the age of 11, and their wellness is kind of more crucial to
That's
me
the priority.
than mine. Yeah, and I often sort of put my own wellness aside for them, and that's almost like a time thing as well. We get up in the morning and it's madness in our kitchen whilst we get these three people ready for school and fed and watered and
Yeah.
the right shoes on, the right bag, the football boots, the ballet kit, whatever it is, like putting all that together. And then sometimes you leave the door and realize that you have not even had like a sip of water yourself, any food, a coffee, tea, nothing, and you're suddenly on the school run, like kind of already exhausted.
Yes.
And you've only been up for like an hour and a half.
Okay, so back to some of your workout routines for roles. What has been like the most kind of grueling, intense workout situation that you've had to do in order to prepare for a role?
I think probably for all the 50 Shades film, because I took my top off a lot probably, and had to be in good nick. I mean, the character was always talking. They were talked in the books about how obsessive he was about fitness and the vanity and and that sort of stuff. So I got that job very only like a couple of 4 weeks before we started filming, 5 weeks. So I usually you'd know
Quick
months and months
turnaround.
in advance that you're playing a character like that, and you would act accordingly, and you'd be in the gym every day for those months and months. That was probably a period where I've been surfing a lot, so I must have been decent enough shape. But like I suddenly was like, Jesus, I have to work quite hard here, and that was well, I remember a lot about the sort of routine of it. We had a baby also 3 days before we started filming, our first baby in Vancouver, so it was very mad, life-changing time anyway. And I tried to do it that like any time the baby woke up beside us at night, I would have a protein shake. So it was kind of
Good
like,
routine to get into.
It was, and she'd be up a couple of times, and my wife would have to feed her, and I'd be like, oh, it's a good time for me to go. And so I was having really broken sleep the entirety of that first film, and but I was getting a lot of protein in, and I'd sort of get back into my into our bed. My wife would be like, "You just smell of like strawberry milkshake." I'm sorry, I don't know what to do. I can brush my teeth after every shake, I guess.
And what about like nutrition and what you eat? Does that affect you at all? Like how mindful of you are you of what you're eating? And does it change with, different like role preparation?
Yeah, I mean, again, if there's stuff where it often become like I'm either trying to bulk up, put weight on, or not. And if I am, then it's like shakes, and then it's brown rice and grilled chicken and broccoli and stuff, and it's not that exciting. But no, like I have to admit, I'm not someone who's ever super conscious about what they eat. I probably should be more, but I eat pretty well anyway. We as a family, and my wife and I as a couple would eat well, I guess, and I guess from one to another way, like we're in a nice, economically we're in a nice position where we can buy very nice produce from very nice places, and know that meat has come from this farm. We live in the Cotswolds, we live in the countryside for 7 years, and we're literally getting our meat and vegetables for everything that come
next
from
door.
Honestly, like our milk literally came from the neighbor next door and stuff.
And I guess with that, can you talk to us a little bit about kind of mental resilience?
Yeah.
I imagine the industry that you're in is quite a tough one.
Yeah.
Kind of in the public eye,
Yeah.
very critical industry.
Yeah.
How do you manage to be in the thick of that all the time?
It's not that fun a lot of the time,
Yeah.
that aspect of it, you know. I feel really lucky that the sort of the bigger success stuff and the bigger sort of more global attention-y stuff happened late 20s, early 30s when I met my wife, when we were starting a family, got married, started a family. So my entire focus from the time that I've had more eyes on me has been on my family. That's really helpful. So I'm not there in my early 20s being handed the world and going, hey, this is great. And I'm going crawl out of clubs at 4 a.m. in LA and like deal with all of that scrutiny and whatever that would bring, and all that sort of young naivety that you have and those reckless things you do as a kid and stuff. You know, I when the spotlight's been on me, I haven't been in those situations, I guess.
Yeah. And for times at work or just in life that have been particularly stressful or particularly challenging at those kind of peak stress times,
Yeah.
what can you give us some examples of what that looks like, and how do you manage that kind of stress?
I think I've just, again, I've always had in the most heightened of those moments, I've had kids. Honestly, like my wife and I, all our energy goes into those kids. Like, you know, really, it's just not about me. I'm not thinking of me in those moments. There's always these other three people, or, you know, the different times when it was two of them or one of them, whatever. But there's always been, in, as I say, with the timing of when my career started really sort of happening in a sort of big way, was when we started a family. So honestly, I've always just been like, let's not get bogged down talking about me, because, you know, this is way more important that we have these kids.
How are you approaching that with your kids?
Yeah, it's tough.
Obviously, it's so normal now for them to have screens
Yeah.
everywhere.
No, we're super aware. Jesus, we talk about it a lot. None of them have. Our eldest is 10 and she doesn't have a phone yet. And of course, the day will come when she needs to have one, and we'll want her to have one, because she'll be, you know, getting the train to school, whatever it is, you know. But we're not there yet. But we talk about it a lot.
Yeah.
And they ask a lot, you know,
I bet.
about when that happens. You know, they've got iPads, kind of great for traveling particularly, but we don't let them look at them during the week or anything like that. And they get a little bit of time at the weekends. And, you know, and then but we have to be good about it too. You know, if sometimes amazing now at home, like, we have to set an example. Sometimes they're like, can we go on our iPads? We're like, no. Like, you're just sat on your phone. I'm like,
shit.
like,
why?
I know, it's really got us there. You know, like, why is it okay for us to like just be scrolling through stuff? I did delete Instagram off my phone about 2 days before Christmas, and that's felt like a really good thing for me, I have to say.
Yeah.
Because like everyone else, I was guilty of just like
sitting and scrolling.
Oh my God.
I was at an event the other day, and they said on average, people scroll 2 kilometers worth of stuff on their phones every day. But that is
that's so depressing.
That's far.
That is really far. That's so dark. Oh God.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, my wife and I both deleted it, and she's got some other thing. I'm sort of slagging her off a bit, like it's a replacement that she's found, but she claims it is some more sort of highbrow
good for
thing.
you. Yeah.
It's like I don't remember the name of the app, and so I'm not going to give it a plug. But it's like curated articles that they, based on her whatever, they think that she would like, and by authors and journalists and stuff that she likes. So it's actually a feed of stuff that she would be trying to be searching for all the rubbish to find. But I am a bit like, does just keep you on your phone.
Yeah.
You know, so I haven't caved. And
it's hard though when so much of your life is on your phone.
And that's the thing, and that often is our response to the kids. It's like, we're not just like having fun on our phone, guys. We're not just like playing, you know, the games that they love on their iPads or whatever. It's not like we're doing that. I'm like booking your ballet lesson thing on this thing. You have to fill out this form, or I'm, organizing this, I don't know, birthday party, and I have to pay. I feel like I'm just internet banking the whole time on my phone. That's all I'm doing. Like, Daddy's paying for stuff. That's what Daddy's doing
Paying
on
for
here.
your
I'm
life.
honestly paying for your life.
Yeah. Do you have any other, just thinking of like, okay, what if you are no longer scrolling as much
Yes.
on your phone now?
Yeah.
What has that left you more time to do?
Oh, probably, just being, hopefully what it's doing is I'm a bit more present for the kids, and my wife. I'm probably.
Yeah. Okay. Last question for
Okay.
you. So again, so much of what we are thinking about, talking about, trying to create solutions for is to help people live optimally to how we are designed, how our minds and bodies are designed. But what does optimal living or an optimal day,
Yeah.
what would that look like for you?
I think up pretty early. If I can get up before the kids wake up, it's good. I love waking them up.
Yeah.
It's like my favorite thing. Often you don't have to be honest. You're usually waking us up, but there's occasionally where they're like lying in a bit. And I love waking them up. Let's just take a normal, like a school day. Getting them to school in a way where we've given them the best that they could have in that time allotted in the morning, and they're happy to go into school is really critical for us. It changes our whole day if we send them into school and they're like buzzing, and that is often not the case because they often fight with each other the whole way into school and pulling each other's hair. It's a nightmare. It can be a real nightmare.
Yeah.
They don't want to do the football match they have to do that day, compulsory football match they have to do. They don't. So it's often chaotic. But if we can get them into school, and good, it just makes our day so much easier. I will try to then spend some time with my wife doing the most boring thing ever. It's like going through our diary. That's kind of like a big part of marriage. It's
Yeah.
like our long relationship. It's especially with kids. It's like navigating.
It's a lot of
Yeah,
coordination.
and are you going to take them there? And
Yeah.
she's got that at that time. Okay, well, she's got that at that time, so I can take her. That, like, that's a big part of our daily life.